Hi everyone, here is Kate, and she's been kind enough to do a video with me on a pharmacy student's perspective of TSW, and I'm going to be asking her some questions. And do you want to say anything?
Hi!
I'm Kate.
I'm Kate. I'm a third year pharmacy student, and I'm also this lovely girl's friend and neighbour.
Yeah, and neighbour.
Best friend.
Yeah, also check out Kate's YouTube channel, it'll be linked down below. She does a lot of different videos to me, but they're very good.
It's a different video every week. What?
Just to follow my schedule, to keep it with her schedule.
Yeah, I actually do. Because I get the reminder that you posted and
So
I'm
then
like,
you
oh, I need to post.
Yeah, so there'll be videos around the same time. Have you learned anything about TSW in uni?
No, not yet. I don't think it'll be on the curriculum for a few years. Or they might add little tidbits of it here and there. But I haven't been taught anything about it. On placement, I heard some of the doctors talking about it, but I wasn't in the conversation. A couple of my friends have talked about it in uni, but not from any lecturers, no.
Do your lecturers know about TSW? Well, you probably wouldn't know.
I haven't asked any of them per se, but I think kind of once it's recognised by the NHS, a healthcare worker, you know, you can't really disagree with it. You know, if it's recognised by the NHS, whatever your opinions are, I would think they just, I don't know, have to accept it. But maybe a few years ago they might have been reluctant, but I'm assuming here. I haven't actually spoken to them.
Has learning about TSW changed your view on meds, drugs and steroids?
Yeah, definitely. I was never a regular steroid user, and I wouldn't have recommended it. But I wasn't as hesitant as I am now. I probably, you know, a couple of years ago I would have used it once a year. I didn't use it a lot, but like once or twice a year. Whereas now I would just let my skin sort itself out on its own. Yeah. So it's definitely made me even more hesitant of it.
Is TSW something you'd like to research?
Yeah. I'd love to research it. I'd love to look into the actual, I don't know, like
why it's called.
Yeah, the actual mechanisms in the body of it.
Because people can apply the littlest amount, only use it for 2 weeks and still get addicted, so it's like different for everyone.
Yeah, I'd love to look into it, but they'd have to have actual research studies done with loads of people. Yeah. And loads of different types of people, so I don't think it's something I could study probably for a few years, but I could at least, you know, research about it.
Would you mention TSW when someone would pick up a steroid from the pharmacy when you become a pharmacist?
I think I would. I think what I personally would do, so not now as a student working in a pharmacy, and not in my first year, not as a pre-reg, I don't think I would do it, but when I'm a registered pharmacist, I think what I would do is I'd ask the patient if their doctors told them how to use it to start with. I'd get them to tell me what they think they need to do, and then I'd correct it. If they need it to be, I'd say, only use like the tiniest, smaller than a pea amount. And they aren't, the thing with steroids is, like this kind of steroids, there aren't any regulations to, because they can say, only use it for 5 days, but you're given a tube that lasts weeks. So I tell them, like, please only use it for this amount of time. Like, you can bring it back to the pharmacy and we'll get rid of it after that. And then I tell them why I'm saying that. The same reason when someone tries to buy the really strong painkillers, we have to tell them you can only use it for 3 days because it can cause addiction. And like with that, you can only buy it once every, I don't know, month or so to make sure the body doesn't get addicted to it. It needs... Because we're taught in pharmacies, I think it's with cocodamol, we're taught to say, have you used it before? How long ago have you used it? Only use it for 3 days, and this is why. I think topical steroids need that sort of training and that sort of advice. I'd give the same advice I give to cocodamol, and I just explain why. Because if you don't explain why, they're not
going to take it seriously.
They're not going to do it. Yeah, because we used to have this lady in my old pharmacy who bought cocodamol every single week, and I was really young and I didn't realise. And then one day the pharmacist came out and said that it's addictive, and she was so shocked. Because if you don't know, you don't know.
No.
So yeah, I would say something.
Mhm. So if someone, like, say you said tropical steroid withdrawal to mention what it is, and they said, what's that? Would you just say look it up yourself, or would you try to explain it a little bit more?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't start with the name of it. I would just say if you use it, your body can become dependent on it, and then when you stop using it, it can go through withdrawal.
Right.
I'd go
it that way.
I'd start from the bottom.
So
I wouldn't start with the name.
Right.
Personally. Just because, I don't know, they wouldn't know what it was. So I'd just say that your body can get dependent on it, and then go through withdrawal. And then I might mention it.
Yeah. It'd be worth mentioning because they'd look it up themselves if they properly cared about the repercussions.
Yeah. Especially if they came across as like, oh no, well, I've always used it. And if they came across like that, then I would say, well, you can look into this.
Right. Okay.
Definitely then.
Would you mention TSW to your friends and family?
Yeah.
You do anyway.
I've mentioned it through you, because like say with my family they'll ask, you know, where's Michaela? Especially, you know, last year we haven't seen Michaela in a while, and I would explain it there. And then with friends it's more just about skin, because a lot of people have skin issues, and they'll say, or you know, why don't you use a steroid, or I'm using steroids, and then I'll mention it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily mention you in that regards. I'd say my friend if they didn't know you.
Would you mention it to people on your course?
Yeah.
And make them aware of it?
Yeah, definitely, because it's, you know, you have to be aware of these things, especially if you're going to be the ones giving the drugs to people. And even if they don't, believe in it, at least then it's in the back of their mind.
So they've at least heard of it. Have any of your friends watched any of my videos about TSW?
I don't think so, but I'll send them little links to this.
Okay.
I told a couple of my friends, because when I was doing the video with you and Jamie, I was like, I can't, like I'm going to my room because I'm filming a video with my friend, and I explained it to one or two of them. But I don't think I showed them the video. But
if it wasn't for you seeing it firsthand through me, would you have believed in TSW? So you just saw it online.
I probably would have, as bad as it sounds, I probably would have forgot about it. I don't know if I would have not believed, but I probably would have seen it and gone, oh, that's sad, and then forgotten about it, and like maybe used steroids a couple months later. And also, I don't think I would have seen it online, like honestly, because I joined all of the Facebook pages because you were going through it. Yeah. And I get sometimes the TikToks, and I get the YouTube recommendations for it because I've looked into it because of you. Otherwise, honestly, don't think I would have really seen it. I mean,
I came across it by chance as well, because I just put how to get rid of eczema in YouTube. Oh. Like 2 years ago, because I had like a huge flare of eczema because I drank some alcohol I shouldn't have, and it literally just flared. I was all red, and obviously that was bad for me at the time, where that is not bad for me now. But I was just like, how to get rid of eczema, and then I came across Misfit and Nerdy's channel, I think, and she has like a 40-minute video, I think, on TSW. And then I was adamant then, I was just like, I'm coming off all steroids, like straight away. I was just like, that's good. But that's the only way that I found out about it, and then I watched other videos and Eden's videos, a lot of good channels on YouTube.
Might have seen it through that Joanna girl before she deleted her YouTube. They're like YouTube.
Oh yeah.
I might have seen it through her. I think I would have believed in it, but I honestly don't think I would have put a lot of time into researching it. Like honestly, I think I would have believed in it, but then just kind of moved on, which is bad. But
do you think it would be difficult to diagnose?
Yeah, I think it would be, because the thing is, like, the skin can only react in so many ways. So, like, a lot of TSW symptoms look like a lot of other things. I think you would be able to diagnose it, but at the moment, it would be quite hard. Because a lot of doctors would say research.
It's probably an infection.
Yeah.
Or, because it's weeping, they'd probably prescribe antibiotics, maybe.
I don't know, I think it would need more research. Like, even if there was I don't know, maybe like a blood test or something. I don't know what it would be looking for, but it needs something that's definite, defining, because it's hard to define. You definitely could diagnose it, but it'd be very hard at the moment. Maybe in a few years it'd be easier to diagnose.
What research do you think should be done?
I guess I wouldn't really know how to go about it. But I think the diagnosing would be good. You could diagnose it now, but a lot of it would be opinion. If you know what I mean? Like, one doctor would say, oh, that's definitely steroid misuse, but then another doctor might think something else. It needs something definitive.
It's not consistent which doctor you get, is it? And you can't really just ask for a doctor now that that would agree with it, really. You kind of just get sent to whoever's available.
Whoever you've got, so you don't know what you're going to get.
And I think that's the problem with how many steroids people are picking up from the doctor, is because they're constantly going to different doctors and you're constantly seeing different people all the time and they're prescribing things. I know it's recorded mostly, but
sometimes, it's not always up to date.
No. Do you think certain groups or ethnic backgrounds are more susceptible?
Most likely, but I'd have no idea.
Which?
Because that is very common. But you do normally get groups of people who are more susceptible to different things.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know. From what I've seen online, I'd say more girls.
Yeah.
Get
or
it?
maybe girls are more open.
Maybe.
About talking about it. I don't know.
But that's something that would need research as well. And the thing is, say research, like, all these things would take years and years and years to research, so
that's the problem, isn't it? You probably wouldn't know this as such yet, but what treatment would you recommend from a pharmacy's point of view? If they if someone didn't want steroids, what would you recommend for them?
Oh, for the eczema?
For the eczema.
Oh god, I don't know.
That's what I mean, you probably wouldn't know.
When I graduate next year, I won't be a prescriber. I'll have to go through a different thing to then. Yeah. I want to be a prescriber, but I won't be a prescriber. I'm not being taught right now how to be a prescriber, basically. Thing is, in an ideal world, I'd refer them to a dietitian, or I take their bloods or something like this. But all those things are, as bad as it sounds, but very expensive. And I for having, I don't know, the free healthcare service, I don't know if they put that much money into eczema. I don't know. I don't really have an answer yet. Maybe in 10 years I'll have an answer.
Maybe.
I think I'd recommend them to do a lot of their own research, which sounds like a lazy prescription, but also education. That'd be my prescription. I'd give them lots of leaflets and have a long chat to them about different things that could be causing the eczema and how to try and find their root of cause, because everyone's root of cause can be different.
Basically, to me, steroids suppress eczema. And it just goes back into the skin and then it comes back out.
I don't actually know the mechanism. I should.
Something like that,
I can't remember it.
Do you think someone should stop steroids cold turkey or come off them gradually?
Because I know most people do it cold turkey. From a medical perspective, I'd say gradually, because then you'd reduce theoretically, you'd reduce the withdrawal symptoms. Obviously, I can't say 100%, but theoretically, from a medical perspective, I'd say gradually. Through the help. I know a lot of people going through TSW probably don't want to go through the help of a doctor because they see it as that's what's caused it. But I'd say maybe if you went through a doctor, they could wean it off in a lower dose. But I know that's hard because people just want to stop.
But the only thing with gradually is because the skin's the largest organ in the body, because you're applying it to one area, it's going to still affect everywhere else. And it does make sense to come off gradually. I get where you're coming from. But I don't think it would technically help. Because I've seen people do it in groups and that's their choice to do it that way. But I personally think you just prolonging it.
Yeah.
Personally,
see, I get that perspective. I think I would still recommend gradually, but I know where you're coming from. I get both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand why people would want to come off it gradually,
Mm.
but personally I don't think
It's different because, like you said, it's a skin. It's not.
it's not a steroid, it's not an
Yeah.
oral steroid, you know.
Yeah, so it's different. When we learn about withdrawal, it's normally really strong medication. Not that steroids aren't strong, but like strong in a kind of like addictive mentally as well. Like, you know, like codeine or even like heroin. We learned a lot about substance misuse. So I think I that's the only way I've really learnt about withdrawal at the moment. So that is like, that needs to be gradual, otherwise you know, you could die if you just stop taking it overnight, which is I think partially where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
because that's the only way I've learnt about it at the moment.
I get what you mean, yeah.
But yeah.
So that's all the questions. I don't know if you can think of anything that you want to actually tell the camera without me asking you a question, but
I think if you haven't used steroids on your skin, or if you haven't used them in a long time, then don't. If you are using them, research, watch Michaela's videos, have a look into it, decide what's best for you. Most likely you don't want to be taking steroids your entire life,
no.
So it's better to find a different. You shouldn't be anyway. They're only supposed to be there for flare-ups, like really, really bad flare-ups, and they're prescribed very easily.
Yeah, because I remember in COVID when my skin was... I was dealing with a lot of stress in 2020.
Yeah,
and I was... obviously you couldn't see the doctor in person, so I was talking to the doctor on the phone. I'd say how my eczema's flared. Like, no problem, we'll prescribe a steroid. Haven't even seen my skin.
Yeah.
And they're like, here it is. And I'm like, obviously I didn't know about TSW then, but like, coming back and thinking of it, it's just, there's no kind of protocol to know if someone's skin is bad enough for...
It's very subjective.
Steroid,
Yeah, because I spoke to the doctor on the phone a few months ago, but then I sent them pictures through email, and he responded to me on the email and said that he doesn't think it needs steroids, so it literally just depends on the doctor.
Yeah.
Whereas it needs to be more
consistent
rules in place, because you'll have one doctor who goes, no, you don't need steroids, and another doctor who goes, oh, I need some steroids.
Yeah.
And both of them are coming from good places. There's just not enough. There's not a good enough protocol.
Yeah, I agree. I'd suggest Bauman's for skin.
I use Bellman's.
Yeah. You got it from the code that I sent you.
Yeah, I did.
Well.
Michaela 20.
Yeah. That you use it.
No,
now.
I use it. I love it. At first, I found it made my skin really itchy because I wasn't used to something that
greasy.
Yeah, but it's so good. If I put it on and I don't scratch, my skin the next day is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But that's the only cream that I use and highly recommend.
Doesn't make me break out either.
No, same here.
Which is
Which
weird,
is good.
but good, yeah. For a pharmacy student, probably one of the most, like, I'm not going to call myself the most open-minded pharmacy student, but I'm probably more open-minded than a lot of pharmacy students. And that's probably, you know, because of you, because I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
I am more touchy. Not touchy. Like, more hesitant of
different
everything
things
now.
Yeah. That's not a bad thing.
No,
at
I like it.
But yeah, so remember to subscribe to Kate. I'll leave the link below. Subscribe to me, comment, like.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell. Oh, I always forget about the bell.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell. And I'll hopefully see you in the next video.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.